Right, I thought I'd better do a video on what I've been up to. I have been sort of down for a few days with a bad cold, but so it's been a bit frustrating with the mild weather, not being able to do anything, but on the mend now. So we've had basically 3 weeks of really sort of mild weather for this time of year, so it is sort of mid-February, so we're just weeks away from spring kicking in. But you know, today definitely feels spring-like. Bit of a brighter sky, temperatures possibly up to 16 today. Very mild, and even the nighttime temperatures have been mild. But anyway, so it's been mild. It's a good time really to move any dormant plants before they start coming into growth. So just to clarify, I still wouldn't recommend planting stuff out. You know, if you've got any new plants or palms or anything, it's still not a good time to plant them up, just due to the fact if you get root damage as you're potting and or putting in the ground, and with the damp, still quite cold soil, that's not going to help them. Far better to wait another month before you start planting stuff up like that. But I'm talking about dormant plants that are already in the ground if you want to move them. So I have dug out a lot of cannas. I had some big clumps which I wanted to divide up and move into different areas, so perfect time for that before they come into growth. You can pot them up, get them in your greenhouse or whatever you choose to do with them, and get them off, get them a good start. I do stress cannas I tend to leave in the ground, and yes, they're a bit slow to start, but by mid-season they're the same, if not better than stuff I've potted up and sort of started off early as such. So you're not really gaining anything unless you know you do want to divide up the clump and move them. Right, so I did have a big clump of cannas right at the back here, canna indica, which is quite a tall one. It sort of gets about 6 foot, big leaves, but that got drowned out by the bananas, which were sort of more in the central area here. So I'm talking about Musa Baju when I say the banana. So what I've done is I dug them Musa Baju out along with a tetrapanax I had, because it's getting really congested in that one area, especially with the palm starting to fill out now, the Trachycarpus nova. So what I've done is I moved the big clump of cannas at the back, which you couldn't really see due to the bananas at the front, and I've dug the bananas out and moved them and spread them out a little bit, because that's sort of one clump. So I spread them out a bit and dug them back in sort of at the back nearer the fence. And I know you're going to say, you know, bananas near a fence, that's going to smash the leaves up, but to be fair, they get shredded anyway in the wind, so I'm not too worried about that. So just a tiering system of the higher stuff at the back at the border. So the bananas, I'd expect them to, by the end of the season this year, to get to sort of pretty close to the fence level, the trunks as it were, or pseudo stems. So that's going to be the taller one. So it does open up an area in the middle here. So I'm going to probably put an onset Heniba there and an inset Morellii, the red banana, where this potted Trachycarpus is. That's just filling in a gap there. So this is going to be banana corner. So yeah, good time to move your bananas. They don't mind a bit of root disturbance this time of year. They're dormant. So I've dug them back in with some horse manure, and I'll give that a good mulching as and when I can get hold of some mulch. So yeah, they're moved. The tetrapanax has come out. I'll show you where that is in a minute. Because I did notice the tetrapanax was starting to stir and the leaf buds were starting to come alive on that. So I thought before that actually gets into full growth, I want to move that, because I was going to move it anyway. So yeah, again, the plan was originally to take out this palm here, which is the Bootia Aerospava, but I think I'm going to leave that there for this year and see, because now I've moved the bananas back a bit, that'll get more sun there. Right, yeah, so that is one area I've been working on. Another one is here in preparation for some changes in the centre bed here. So if you saw my last video, I got a Transplanting campestris, which I've planned to put in this area, because I've got a gap where I had a sable minor, which I'd had for a few years, and I moved it and didn't get enough roots and that died off. So I have a Transplanting campestris there. I'm planning to move a couple of the bigger palms at the back here, just due to the new palm in the centre bed going in. So we've got the reasonable sized jubea, which is going to go in there, so I don't want another little jubea near it, so that's coming out. And the Bootia odorata is coming out that side, because we've got a bigger one just over here, so I don't want to, you know, them too close to each other, and that's starting to get a bit big for this area. So the idea of this centre bed was, you know, really slow growing palms, which are going to take years to fill out, and just a sort of a lower area for the centre of the garden. So what we did have, so between the raised bed here and the palm bed, we had this area here which was full of cannas, a big clump of canna Cleopatra. So I took all them out, because what I want to do is have something evergreen for the centre of the garden, year-round interest, and something with a bit of colour, because with all the palms, you know, there tend to be a lot of green there. So I want something in the centre there just to break up the greenery. So what we've come up with is a couple of coloured phormiums. So the smaller varieties, not the giant ones. I think it's a Phormium Jester and a Phormium Pink Edge, which is going to go either side here, and in the centre I'm going to have a nice purple cordyline. So I'll give you a flash of colour in the centre to break up the greenery. So yeah, I've dug out all the cannas there. I've still got a few roots which I've got to pot up, which is still good, but I must have already potted up about 20 pots of the Cleopatra, and there's still loads of roots there. So I'm going to have a plenty of them for the spring shop when I start selling plants. Right, so I will say also in the centre here I did have a corpse lily, and I may get the name wrong on this. I think it's something like Draculus vulgaris, so one of the bigger growing corpse lilies. So I've moved that as well, because I've just absolutely cleared this area here, and that was starting to grow anyway, which it quite often does start coming up early. So I've moved. I did actually divide it, because the bulb does divide up. So I've got one here, so we can just see this as it's starting to grow. So I'll keep an eye on that over the next few weeks. If we do get another cold spell, I'll just put a cloche over that. And I did pot one up as well, and I did dot out a few of the smaller little nublets around the garden. But yeah, these do divide off, and in a few years you'll have several plants. So again, that is the corpse lily, so you get really big stinky flower on them with the tropical foliage as well. Right, so this is an area which I'm still working on. There's still junk everywhere, so don't shout at the screen saying it's a mess. I know it's a mess. Right, so what we did have in this area, we had some of the hardy fuchsias, which I do like, and I've left one in. We can just see this sort of bare twigs at the moment. So I took one out, and I want the tetrapanics here to give me some big leaves and give me some height on the fence. So this is the one I was talking about earlier that I dug out from the banana area. So as we can see, this is the one that the stem died on last winter, and then over last summer we can see the new stem, which is probably about 3 foot, and we can see the leaves starting to come to life on there. And this is a week after I've transplanted it, so it's actually just starting to bud a week ago, and I've moved it. Thought that might sort of slow it down, but the leaves are starting to open on that. So I'm not expecting this to go full on huge like it did last year. I mean, I had some really big leaves on that, but obviously I've got a decent amount of roots, and I've dug it in with a load of horse manure, and again I will mulch that. And yeah, so this year that'll just get established, and hopefully next year we'll have a big tetrapanics covering the fence here, because there was a bit of a gap. So yeah, a good time of year to move dormant plants before they come back into full growth. I mean, plants, you know, because of the mild weather, are starting to sort of come back to life a little bit. So yeah, good time to dig up divide cannas, pot them up, get them started off, move any dormant plants that have been in the ground all winter before they wake up fully and you disturb the roots in any new growth. It's a good time to move stuff. Right, so we'll leave it there for this video, and thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.